Women of Herstory as La Mulâtresse, Solitude. Solitude, the mulatto woman. Her name was Solitude, which is a cool name. But they used to call her the mulatto woman. I don't know why. I guess because she was light-skinned. Solitude has become a legendary figure in the anti-slavery struggles of the Caribbean melanated people in the early 19th century. Her extreme courage made her legendary and prompted whites to caricature her as mad. That's what they do, man. That's what people do when you got power and you got influence and you make a decision that the powers that be don't like. They say you crazy. Dave Chappelle. While details about Solitude's life are few, her existence has been authenticated in historical accounts of the abolition and reestablishment of slavery in the French Empire during the 1790s. So there's revolution is in the air in the late 1700s. It's in the air. The United States became a country, its own independent country in 1776, or that's when they declared independence. It's in the air. So, bad time for the French to try to reestablish slavery. Speculation places Solitude's birth around 1772, possibly the product of the rape of her African mother by a white sailor on a ship bound for Guadeloupe. So she wasn't even from the Caribbean. That's where she ended up. That's where she was born. So I guess she was from the Caribbean, but at the time of her birth, Guadeloupe was a French colony reliant on enslaved African labor. Solitude is thought to have escaped slavery with her mother, who died when she was 8. Oh, that sucks. And lived as a maroon during her adolescence. I don't know what a maroon is, but I'll find out and then I'll put it down at the bottom. The news of the 1794 proclamation of the abolition of slavery in the French Empire soon reached the colonies, and slaves left plantations in droves. In the early months of 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte answered planter complaints by sending a large military expedition to restore order and reimpose slavery. So they had 94, and they probably didn't reach the colonies until it's like 1795. So they had about 7 years of freedom before Napoleon sent military there. A number of officers of color in the French Republican Army, including Louis Delgrès and Joseph Ignace, rejected the official French decision and led a vigorous resistance against the reimposition of slavery in Guadeloupe. Interesting. So they were like, fuck that, man. We can't do that to our own people. Solitude played an active role in the armed resistance, bearing arms in the Battle of May 8th, 1802. Women participated, it sounds like arms right there. Women participated as combatants and also inspired the men to greater feats of resistance and valor. If it wasn't for her and the women, they wouldn't have won. I say we, like I'm from the Caribbean. Well, I don't know if they won. Eventually, they did win. I don't know if this instance, but it was important. It had to happen. Though she was pregnant, Solitude participated in all the battles in the Dole Post. She was particularly prone to expressing her rage against prisoners taken by the resistance fighters. Damn. Solitude kept rabbits and once caught one that escaped, speared it with the skewer, and showed it to the prisoners, saying, "Look, this is how I'm going to treat you when the time comes." Damn. Bro, she was the wrong person to fuck with. On May 22nd, 1802, a furious attack forced the black resistance troops in Fort St. Charles to retreat. Solitude was wounded in the ensuing conflict and eventually captured and condemned to death along with the band of insurgents. However, because of her pregnancy, Solitude's execution was delayed until she gave birth. on November 29th, 1802, the day after she delivered her child. Solitude. The fight against slavery has been commemorated in Guadalupe memory through fiction and the construction of 2 statues. Interesting. I learned about her from my Instagram history page. And I was like, yo, boom, the universe is showing me my next badass woman of Herstory. Pregnant, fought with guns. I like a little story with her in jail and shit. But she was still kind because she would keep, most of the rabbits she wouldn't kill, I guess, unless she had to eat them. They reproduce a lot, so I guess it's a good little animal to have and let them have babies and shit so you